October 26th, brand new film Silencio. In order to save her son's life, Anna must find a powerful stone. Her grandfather originally discovered it in the zone of silence, the Bermuda Triangle of Mexico. And throughout her desperate search, Anna stumbles upon family secrets and enemies who believe the stone's power is worth killing for. The movie is Silencio. It comes out Friday. And joining us, the stars of that film, the great John Noble. Hello, John. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you.
It's great to be here after all these years, you know. I was just saying how long Collider's been around.
I know.
I can remember when... Oh, back in the early 2000s, I can remember.
Yes.
We would always look at Collider because it was a good reference point.
Oh, yeah. It's good. See, I love that's what a great compliment that is. Steve Weintraub, Frosty, started the site, and it's built and it's grown, and now we're starting to get some really great guests on this show. And man, are we excited to have you on? Thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Christian. I'm really pleased to be here.
Thank you. You know, what's funny is I got yelled at last night. Oh, we got yelled at today before last night for not going to see The Thing, the John Carpenter's movie. And it's funny because Dorina texted me and she goes, John Noble's here.
Yeah, I was telling him I was too shy to say hi and be like, I'm going to interview you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
It would be fun.
But you were there for Silencio, right? You were doing the red carpet.
Yeah. So, Silencio. Let's talk about the movie. I want to hear, because when I've got a chance to, when I'm checking out this trailer and I see you in the role here too, there's like a time travel element. And the first thing to start off though was this based on true events in a certain. How does that tie in with the time travel and the true events? How does that work?
Yeah, but the Zone of Silence, it's like the Bermuda Triangle. It's one of those portals, right? And it is. And throughout history, a whole lot of asteroids and comets have landed there as against somewhere else. In fact, in '69, a plane went down there, and it's also been recorded some of the major asteroids have landed in that place quite recently, as well as throughout history. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those places. That's the premise, and that's interesting enough. But there's this thought, and it's consistent with some scientific thought, that there's stuff coming in asteroids, older than our solar system could have, for example, terrible diseases in it, or it could have things that will cure us. And I have a mate who's a top scientist. He delves in this all the time. He loves to go into this. What comes down within these is another virus, or what is it? So that fascination remains within us, but also what what powers do these things have that we don't know about yet, because we haven't been exposed to them. And so that this film picks up that idea that if you touch a certain stone, then it will give you the ability just to freeze time or to move back temporarily. But there's some payoffs. So the complications come into play there. I mean, I can do that to come back if you're killed in a car accident or something, and if I come back, I could possibly bring you back, but I have to lose someone in the meantime. It's just one of those sort of, like the nature being in balance the whole time. So that's the premise. I say it with confidence because we don't know it can't happen. Right. We simply don't, you know. Having done so much of the scientific work as an actor, I've looked at this and studied so many things we don't know. Yeah. And stuff that was a mystery 10 years ago is now, common science, parallel universes, talking a friend, you know. At that stage, everyone, what are you talking about? Now it's just accepted stuff. Right.
Well, when it comes to that, because you like you mentioned, science fiction, fantasy, it's really where you've done a lot in your career. Mm. Is that something you always wanted to explore, or did you just kind of fall into it?
Fell into it. I don't. I don't even really look at genres when something comes up. I look at a role, and I never consider they're a bad guy or a good guy or anything of this nature. I look at a role, and if it's complex and wonderful, then I'm fascinated. If it's not, I don't want to do it. If it happens to be sci-fi, that doesn't worry me, because science fiction, 7 years ago, science fiction is today's science fact. You know, so it's changing so fast. So, you know, I don't understand, frankly, why there's this slide of, you know, in Hollywood, there's science fiction, never get nominated for Emmys, they never get a bloody thing, and you think, why the hell not? That's what people want to watch. But it's just snobbery.
It doesn't happen, though. It's true. You know, and you mentioned, I know that Doreen has a few questions about Silencio, but I did want to ask because of the science fiction element, the fantasy element, and because of Fringe and your relationship with J.J. Abrams, and I know it's been rumored for a while in conversation for episode 7 for Star Wars. That was something that I was convinced. We had a fantasy draft of people that we thought, and I had you in my draft because I thought you were going to be in there. Has there been talks as far as Star Wars? Is Star Wars something you'd like to be doing? Or
that franchise, yes.
Yes.
That franchise, I think, is fantastic. just the whole. It's like those some of the early stuff was amazing stuff, and what it continues to teach us today about life. In fact, last night I was. Oh, there was another one I just thought of too. What's that? E.T. was another one.
Sure,
you know, these were stories that live about Lord of the Rings. I mean, things live on with they're great, and they got great stories. So, I mean, Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I heard that I was in it.
So there was never really like any like serious talks about it. Just
well, someone might have spoken to this radio person, but I didn't.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so this jockey in Melbourne, in Australia, announced, John Noble, he's in there and he's playing the big bad. Oh, really?
Okay.
So I wrote to Bad Robot and said, I'm sorry about this. I didn't say that, but...
It was like the hopes. Well, I hope to see. And there's so many new movies and the TV shows that's coming out with Jon Favreau. So hopefully that's something in the future too. But
who knows? Yeah.
Dorina,
So I actually grew up in Mexico, and so I heard about this, Zona de Silencio area, and I was telling Riley earlier today that it's actually on the same latitude as the Bermuda Triangle and the Egyptian pyramids. And as you were saying earlier, which is kind of awesome and spooky, and you were saying earlier that we still have so much to discover with science. It's crazy. So first of all, did you film at location there at all, or like where did you guys film, or have you been there? Are you like, I feel like my people are too creeped out to actually go there because we're so superstitious.
Durango National Park it's a pretty arid sort of a place, isn't it? And really wouldn't have supported a film crew, to get out there. And so we found a place. Wonderful place, not so far from where we were living, and in the desert. That's gorgeous. So we used that instead, but it's an amazing place, and it still holds these mysteries. And as you said, the locals go, "Ooh, I don't know about this place here." So,
did you read up on it a lot on that particular place?
Oh yeah.
Does it creep you out at all?
No.
So you don't believe in any of that stuff?
No, I didn't say that. No, I do believe in it. I just don't believe we understand it yet.
Yeah,
right.
It's exciting more than scary.
Oh my God, what we're discovering in quantum mechanics and so forth over the last, everything is possible.
Yeah.
I love it. I
love hearing you talk about this because I can see the excitement in your eyes when you just talk about because to me, and I know Dennis wants to talk about Fringe here too, because I have to watch the show, to be honest. But people tell me I am fascinated with the parallel universe. I'm fascinated with it because I agree with you. We know nothing. We know nothing, and I think that it's ignorant when people say, "Well, I can't see it, so I'll tell you right now, there is no parallel universe. There is no. How the hell do we know what the infinite? Yeah, right.
Why do we listen to them?
Right. Right. It's true. But Dennis, I mean, when I told you that John Noble was coming in here,
I fought you. I was like, hey, Christian, you gotta let me on the show. I'm not a regular on the show. I was like, Christian, you gotta let me come in.
So much French. Go for it, Dennis. The floor is yours.
I just wanted, he mentioned that, when he takes a role, he doesn't. John, you don't think about what genre it is. You just want to delve into the complicated characters and the storylines and. For me, Fringe was one of those shows that was very underrated because it was science fiction. I actually used to review the Fringe episodes with my friend Roth, and we would talk every year about how not only was Fringe underrated, but your work there was underrated, and we felt that you deserved an Emmy nomination for the many years that you did on that show, playing Walter Bishop. How do you feel about that kind of that talk?
Okay, I'll give you the honest answer. When I first arrived here and I was doing that show, Fox was running it. They were fairly convinced that I was going to win a swag of awards. In fact, they had me up before the first. What's the other one? The Christmas time one. Critics' Choice Award. No, I won that. No, the big one, the big awards.
The Golden Globes?
Thank you. God, help me. Yeah. So they said, be on standby tomorrow morning because they're going to announce the Golden Globes, all of it. Nothing. And then be on standby because you're going to get nothing. And so this first couple of years it was, and lots of, after that I just let it go.
Right.
I have let it go since.
You're over it?
I think it's criminal they didn't nominate you. I think some of the performances you had, especially with Anna Torv and Joshua Jackson, the scenes with Peter, and Walter together. I mean, those things you have to watch this show.
Yeah,
Christian.
I will.
I think you'll love it.
Well, when it comes to that though, when it comes to these award stuff too, like you said, because there's I think from what I heard, and you can speak on this better than I can, but when it comes to recognition for your body of work, sometimes I'm sure that's a great feat, but then other times it's like, because you're not getting recognized, who needs it? I'm going to focus on my actual work itself, and if it happens, it happens. Is that kind of the mindset?
I think you have to be. The bonus of winning one of those awards is what you can get paid, to be honest, for a while. Beyond that, you see, I often think, well, who won last year's Emmys? And I can't remember.
Right.
So that sort of says something about it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's useful to have it on your
right. The
CV.
the stature changes, and you become.
And it's exciting. Well,
right.
we won a SAG award once, and it was wonderful. It was just fantastic.
Well,
and I got kissed by Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I didn't even know. I was that excited. She gave me a kiss and just walked straight past.
Right. You have to watch it on the replay.
Yes.
That's better than an award.
Well, I don't know, because I was too starstruck. I stood next to Liv Tyler because she liked to stand next to me because we're both tall.
Oh, right.
So,
Can I ask, do you have a favorite role that you've played or a favorite experience in your career?
Yes. Won't surprise you. The most difficult, but perhaps best known one was Denethor, Lord of the Rings. Yes. It was really hard. But I'm proud of the work, but God, it was hard emotionally. And doing Walter Bishop in Fringe was just a delight. If I could have written a perfect role for myself, I would have said, that'll do, that'll have that one. And they were so kind, they allowed me to improvise and come up with ideas. So we grew it as we went. That's probably, I mean, there's a lot of favourites. And many of my stage days too, which no one knows anything about, but there were some wonderful shows in there that I did, difficult, wonderful performances. But those two, which I think are the best two known.
Right. Yeah. Well, when you mentioned Denethor, though, and I'm curious to where, the obvious, when you see everything that the character goes through and the stuff with his sons, what was it that was so hard with the prep that kind of got you there emotionally?
Well, to start with, Denethor was given almost no background in the film. He sort of appeared. And so there's this strange dude up there, and you think he's a bad egg. But that's not, I can't play bad eggs, I just play people. And so I have to go inside and find out what the hell makes this man like he is. So I did. I researched deep and hard, and what I couldn't find in the books, I found in my imagination. That gives me the strength to go on and play with surety and understanding. If I didn't do that, I don't know what I could do with a man that is so, on the surface, appears to be so vile that he would kill his son. And I have children, and I going through that process personally, I'm thinking, what would you do? It was awful. Yeah. It was awful.
So the fact that you didn't visit that spot, I'm sure.
Oh, it was awful. But you have to go there.
Yeah. Well, especially when you that layer of that type of character, for sure. Now, so Rachel Cushing, who's a big, she's a big part of this network here too, and she's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. She asked me, "Were you a fan of Tolkien before? Had you read all of the books, or if not, did you while you were on these movies?"
No, I hadn't.
Okay.
Confession time.
Yeah.
What I did when they first started to call out the auditions, I thought, hell, I better have a look at this.
Yeah.
So I did that normal thing of thumbing through the books looking for my name. And I found it.
Yeah.
And, but then I thought I better look at this a bit more seriously, so I did study it further, and then I did that audition and didn't hear anything. It was one of their worldwide numbers. It was a Denethor, and then they called back a few months later. Jackson wants to see you again, but he wants you to do Denethor again, but also Suruman. Learn Suruman.
Wow.
Oh.
I learned Suruman. And then I heard that Christopher Lee had got Suruman, which I thought was perfect casting, so I didn't have any gripe. And then Denethor, they had all these other people. And then I got up to God knows. So it was pretty exciting.
Right. But again, what was the relationship then with Peter Jackson, though, too? Have you guys kept on since the movies?
No.
Or not really?
No. And I wouldn't even say we were close then.
No.
Jackson had so much on his plate.
Okay.
And he was so well. The reason that those things live in legend is that his preparation was astonishing. Every detail over those three films. And he was able to lift everybody. You went onto that set, the bar is suddenly up here,
right,
and you go, okay.
Yeah.
And everybody, right throughout the company went through it. And that's one of the things you see in the movies, that degree of commitment and excellence.
Yeah, he seemed like, from everything you see in the behind the scenes, that he was obviously his passion for the project is, you don't have to explain that, but it's like you said, he seems like a real leader on set, and I think that's where it comes across.
It was his best work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I liked Heavenly Creatures, but I thought that was his best work. And he he was so passionate and he knew it so well. And he's working with Andrew Lesney, his DP, who's one died just recently. Can't believe this. And they were like this. Wonderful combination. That storybook, the whole film, by the way, just by the way, I mean, like this page is amazing what he was able to encourage in us, and it was a pretty diverse and good cast of actors, and everyone just said, we'll go with anything you want made.
Well, one of the things that I think really came out of that movie as well, besides tons of stuff, but one of the things to me, Andy Serkis is one of my favorite actors on the planet, and what he did from that movie on with performance capture, I think has kind of revolutionized performance capture.
He's the man. I mean, he was. What's the story? He was originally supposed to go in and just do the voice or something or other. Yeah. And he said, "Oh no, I want it. Let me animate it. Let me animate it." Yeah. They looked at him animating it and said, "Wow, wow." And so that was the beginning of the Andy Serkis legend. And he is also the nicest man, as you said, possible. Yes. And so he created these characters with his wonderful body, because he's a mime as well, and he's got this voice, and it lives and it continues to live, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, he's done it with King Kong. He did it with Caesar, and he's continued to do it more. So the reason I bring that up is because you look at what Mark Rylance then did with BFG, and there are more and more actors now doing the performance capture. Is it something you'd ever would consider doing, want to do?
We did it once. There was a video game called L.A. Noire.
Okay. Oh yeah,
it was great.
Yes,
and it was created by a mate of mine in Australia. And in fact, at one stage he said, "Can we test something on you, John? You've got a bit of time." So I'd go and they'd wrap me up and stuff and put stuff on me to see if I could, what it was going to be like with 100 cameras or that. Yeah. And then I was away, and then he called me. He said, "John, I need you again." I said, "But I'm in Los Angeles." He said, "What are you doing at Christmas time?" I said, "Family." He said, "Come back." So I went back to Christmas. We did some more testing. Yeah. Then he called me and said, "Look, mate, we're actually going to shoot in LA. Would you do the role?" And I could. So I did. But that was all performance capture. Yeah. And one of the first. So exciting.
Do you enjoyed it? Yeah.
Oh, of course. I love adventures. I love adventures.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
In a beat.
And you've done other voice acting, right? Like,
I like
I'm wearing
voice
a Batman
acting.
shirt. You did Scarecrow for an Arkham game. How's that compared to just, both voice acting and regular acting are very impressive. Is there one that you prefer? Like, what was that experience like?
Oh, I love voice acting, and I've worked really hard at it. It's funny in your career where you think, oh, there's something I'm not very good at. I remember getting rejected very early in the piece for a voice job, and so I thought, I've got to learn how to do this. Yeah. So I did, and I studied how to do it, and I studied how to use the booth and what to do, and it changed. But you can't just go in there and talk like a talking head. Doesn't work. You've got to get into it. Yeah. So I love doing that. It's hard work, and I bounce around the place. Not off mic, but because you've got to do this. If you don't use your body, your voice changes.
Right. Well, it's similar to what you're saying when you get into the role for Lord of the Rings. Not into that emotional prep, I'm sure. Or maybe it is, but the fact you've got to get into the character, you got to feel the character, and if you're just doing the voice, it doesn't do service to you. It doesn't do service to the character in general.
No, it doesn't. And if you do, so we're talking about Scarecrow. And that was a wonderful game, but I'm just Scarecrow, Batman. Gotham is mine, Batman.
I just played that game too, and I love that. I'm like, oh yeah,
geeking out. So let me ask you then too, because we bring this up often with performers, actors, and the way that television has shifted from, say, network to streaming now, and and even if you look at something, I think Game of Thrones is the best thing to kind of compare it to. There's like these movies now. They're movies. They're long form movies, and that's why I brought up before, like the Mandalorian, the Star Wars show, which is going to be like a movie. Is television more exciting now? Is it the same? It just depends on the role. Is it something that you want to get? Is there any particular show that you would like to be on that you would want to do?
It's a huge question.
Yes.
Look, yes, it's changed. It's changed. It's changed enormously. I mean, television, even 20 years ago, most actors of note wouldn't go there.
Right, yeah.
Not now. They just line it up at the doors.
Oh, it's all right.
Nothing happened. we won't tell anyone listening that I just spilled a cup of coffee because anyone that knows me says he always does that.
Perfect.
Oh, golly. Well, see, I think what happened and what we've witnessed is with cable television, that for a number of reasons. One, it's compact. The writers are given freedom. The actors are given freedom. It's 13 or something, right? They can go and do other things. There's a freedom in there, and we see it. We see it in there. So the actors want to do it. And then streaming's come in now with everyone doing it. I don't think Facebook have got one coming up too. So this is legitimate now,
right.
Absolutely legitimate, and people binge watch.
Yeah.
Boom.
Do you?
No. my wife Petty does though, and I sneak by occasionally and have a look what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to watch if you can.
Do you have any particular shows? Are you more of a film guy or television guy? Is there particular shows that you watch?
As a regular, no.
No, okay.
And with films, it's old-fashioned. If it doesn't have a story or characters I can relate to, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
One more edit cut, one more loud noise, bang, bang, where are the characters? There's no characters, just shoot them down, and I'm going, oh, fuck, let me out of here.
Yeah.
Let me out of here. So that's me.
Yeah.
But when there's a story and the characters you can follow, I love it. And it doesn't matter whether it's way out science fiction or an historical drama.
You just want good characters and a good story that drives you.
And people don't change. We could be in space, we could be in Greece, but the people are people.
Right.
With different cultural effects, but the actor doesn't go and play, I'm going to play an old dude now, or whatever.
Yeah.
You just play the truth of the character.
Oh, Doreen, did you say?
Is there a recent film that you've seen that, like, either this year that's been your, something that, I wish I was on that, or I really, that's a great film?
No. Usually, if it's that good, I don't want to be on it. I'm so admiring the people that are there, you know. And if that's not very good, I don't want to be on it. So, no, I don't look at that. I love watching good actors. I adore it. I love working with them too.
Yeah.
There's something special. There's something magic about that. So if I'm watching a great performance, I'm mesmerised.
So I'm curious about that because you're such a great actor, and you are there people out there, the younger actors right now that have caught your eye that you say, that not necessarily even I need to work with that person, but you just admire their work, like some it could be not necessarily a young actor, but someone in particular that sticks out in your mind.
Bradley Cooper does a good job.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I know Bradley a little bit, and he's just such a dedicated man. The thing that won me finally was in New York. He was doing the film The Elephant Man. No, the play The Elephant Man.
Right. Yeah.
So I've gone along to watch this. Not my favourite play. And there's this opening sequence where the guy goes from this and just converts himself on stage into this. I'm going, God damn, that's good.
Yeah.
It took my breath away.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper, commitment to hell, and he did a wonderful job and held that position. It must have killed him. He's one.
Yeah.
There's many more, but I think he's a good example.
He's the one. Yeah, that's a good example. I think that what I've learned so far. I mean, I've only known you now for half an hour, but I like how excited you get about the things that you love. Like you can tell. Like I can also you're a passionate individual. I can see that about you. And I think that's probably what it comes across. Where did if you don't mind me asking, did you grow up in? You were born and raised in Australia?
Yeah, I was a country boy, and
Okay.
I got sent down with all that goes with that, I was sent down to 3 years of boarding school, then university in Adelaide, and I stayed there, and then I started to do theatre, and I actually ran a theatre company there for 10 years.
Wow.
In that town. So,
Did you discover? Is that something you just wanted when you were younger? That you just again fell into acting?
No. Didn't know you could.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't have a clue you could do it. I mean, we used to go as kids. We'd go to the matinees on Saturdays, and and we'd throw things at each other and try and cuddle the girls, and we'd watch shows. And but I loved them, and there was all these kids shows. They were like, they're like another race.
Sure.
I couldn't imagine how you could do that.
Yeah.
But then slowly you find yourself there and say, "Wow, that's what happened." But I didn't think it was accessible, and I certainly didn't think you could have a career doing it in Australia. You couldn't at that stage.
When did you? At what point in your life did you say, "Oh, wow, this is something I can actually. This is what I'm gonna do. Not even necessarily what I want to do. What I'm gonna do."
It's a good question. What happened to me was I was doing an drama elective, and I realised something. This is the first thing in my life that I found that I really love and that I'm really good at.
Right.
Hello, double banging. That's where I went because it still is. It still is.
Yeah.
I love it, and I'm still fascinated by the process of making, say, television. It's awesome.
Yeah.
What happens in post-production and so forth. It's astounding. And so I'm still a real amateur in terms of looking at that and going, oh my.
Right.
And I try not to let a day go by without learning something, because that sort of freshes me up too.
Is there stuff in television, because if with maybe directing and producing stuff of that nature that you want to do for television? Or
No. I was a director at stage. I realised coming into film and television, let's talk television, that the directing television is so technical, and these men and women that do it are so good at what they do. I thought, I'm not going to do that. Well, I'm good with actors, but they don't talk to actors. They just get to the show on. Right. Film, if I had a script that I was passionate about, and I had a great DP, number one,
right,
a great first AD, and a great production designer, then I would say, all right, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
But that would be the condition, because they know much more about it than I do.
Sure.
Do you have any influences growing up, like as to why you decided to pursue this career, like whether it's actors or films or plays, that you were inspired by?
We grew up in a house, we were, as I say, country people, and my mum was a piano player, and I can remember that there was always people would come around and they'd sit down and they'd just sing songs. Mum would belt out the piano and Dad would sing along. So there was this atmosphere of that, and I'd forgotten about this. As children, little ones, my sisters, Mum used to train us up to go around to these country towns to do where kids would go and do entertainments and all that. And so we used to get set out to I used to have to do the sailor's hornpipe. So and I was about, 3 or 4 years old. We were doing this one, and my pants were a bit big. And so instead of doing this, you can't see what I'm doing, but it's just moving up in front. I was grabbing hold of my pants and pulling them up as I went in the song because they were falling down. There was some old rich man out there who's the best thing I've ever seen, and gave us £10, which was unbelievable money.
Well, John, did you have something?
I have a question. Going back to TV, real quick. Your Denethor scene, when you're eating, and you're being warned that the army's coming to Gondor, is one of my favorite scenes of all time. But that's just a little praise. Are you at all interested in the Lord of the Rings TV show that's coming out?
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, because we're all wondering as fans, where does it take place? And I'm like hoping beyond hope that maybe it's before, and maybe we can get some characters that we love, like Denethor coming in. Like,
it's hard to say.
But has anybody approached you at all?
No, and I think what they'll probably try and do is get a fresh look.
Yeah.
And how many actors would want to go back? See, it was interesting we finished Rings because people would say to me, "Oh, you must be looking forward to the Harvard." No, I'm not. Well, I'm not in it. Right. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But also, I said, we've achieved this thing here. Why would I want to blur that? I don't want to go there.
But what if?
I totally get it.
Leave it.
But what if then they came back to you? Because I understand that. But what if they came back to you? They had this before all the Lord of the Rings movies come down, but the role worked. The role was meaty. The story, like you said beforehand, you went, shit. This is something I'm excited about. Is that or you've left that chapter behind?
Well, if it is what you described, which is a totally different, complex character in a different set of circumstances without the history that Denethor has, because his history is so important, then I would consider it. But if it's anything that's going to blur that memory, you go through life and you do certain things that are outstanding, not me, they are, that was like an unbelievable event in anyone's life, doing Lord of the Rings down in Wellington.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't want to do that again.
Understood. Well, Mr. Noble, thank you so much for joining us today. Once again, Silencio comes out this weekend, guys. Make sure you check it out. It's in theaters. Silencio, John Noble, the great John Noble, thank you so much for joining us. Please come back and see us again.
I'd love to. Thank you. Well, I saw Silencio for the first time last night.
And what?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Seriously.
Yeah. And I am excited to hear it. I'm excited to see it. And I am really, really honored that you came and joined us today. Thank you.
I'm honored to be here. It's great. Thanks.